You guys know what the most important thing in the world is?
Breakfast.
Sequels.
Family.
Fire.
Welcome to Cannonballs, a movie and TV podcast where we review, react, and recap popular movie and TV franchises. Today we're reacting to Black Widow. I'm Brian Carey, and I'm joined by my co-host, Aaron Laramie.
Can't wait to hear Marty's take.
Matt Martirosian.
You'll barely notice me.
And Wesley, all indoctrinated with the Western agenda, Isaac.
It's all about family.
So initial takes, Marty, why don't you...
Can I start, actually?
What's his hand raised?
Oh man, Black Widow. I mean, I know it is a good movie. Was it like it was probably the worst movie Marvel had. But like I don't know. It's a good like Marvel's
Worst of all 26 movies?
Alright, you know what?
The worst I've ever seen.
Sure. All the Marvel movies are so good, you know what? It might go above one of the Ant-Man. That might be putting it.
Marty, hot take. It was the worst movie I've ever seen, but it was good.
It was the worst NFL player. They were still really good at football.
Really good. The Super Soldier.
Brian Scalabrine of fucking
Super
movie.
Soldier did nothing.
You were
Taskmaster, an amazing villain that they chose, but I felt like they could have done more with it.
You know what the issue is? You didn't see all the tasks done behind the scenes. It's like she was just like adding things to like coffee
So much
pots.
paperwork.
Yeah, you didn't see all the tasks done behind the scenes. The
bureaucracy.
printer jammed like 3
He's a
times.
little less pigs and a little more Taskmaster.
I agree.
The ending scene where they're fighting while falling, at first I was like, this is gonna be really corny, but it was actually a really sick fighting
He
sequence.
fucking is
Like,
stabbing
yeah.
the debris.
Yeah, and she just lands
Like
on
the
like,
guys
one of the
flying.
walls. Like I thought that was-
I just like how you have like normal soldiers that are recruited like near you, and we're falling out of a giant space station. And like I have like a sniper, and I'm like, well, time to aim them down. I'd be like, I'd be freaking out, but instead I'm just like, that's right. That's
Gotta steady my shot.
that's that traitorous bitch. Let me get my sights on her. Like,
That guy killed the king of Wakanda.
oh, dude.
I just wanted a Black Widow story before she joined the Avengers rather than like during.
I thought it was
I
maybe more
wanted this
towards
before
that.
she died. Like, this would have been
Oh,
really
you
cool
mean-
if it came out
You
between...
mean chronologically, like into the life? Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, because
That's
you,
it. I
you,
want
you didn't want to know the end. Where at the end, it really has nothing to do with the film at all either.
No.
Like, they do the entire thing, and she's like, I like my Russian family, but I keep you safe. Also, now I'm dead for a completely different circumstance. That didn't do it for you?
Yeah, her whole thing with having that connection to someone she tried to kill, like she didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna try and help Taskmaster, like that'll get clean my record a little bit. No, she's obviously gonna try and kill you. Like you tried to blow her up.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing?
Someone that's only been, like, very vaguely hinted at for the entire MCU. And also, we've heard Black Widow has no family. A lot of news happened between our 2 episodes we've done
Is
today.
that true?
Yeah.
Or are you just being a douche?
Did you guys hear Black Widow set some pandemic records with 80 million at the domestic box office and 60 million on Disney Plus?
How much is that total?
$60 million.
That's at least $100.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good
It's
deal.
$100 dues. No, I mean $80 million for like that's
I
got to
feel
be
like
the highest grossing movie in the last 2 years.
That's gotta be the highest
Like,
grossing non-important Marvel movie in like the last
Oh,
2 years.
oh, well, and probably more.
They're like, this is Black Widow. It's about a Russian spider, and I'm like, I guess I'll watch it. Well, yeah, what else?
Oh, we got one other
Marty?
huge news story that happened
shit.
between our episodes. Did you guys hear David Harbour pitched 2 ideas for a Red Guardian solo movie?
Oh, of course he.
Who did?
He's
David Arbor.
David Harbour, yeah, he probably because that Hellboy movie bombed so bad.
I forgot he was. In
He's
that
probably
shit.
like, please, I need like a solo or like a project outside
He's like,
of
you can even make
Stranger
it,
Things.
You can even make it a spin-off on Stranger Things. I don't care. Just
Yeah,
anything,
exactly.
anything at all.
So we'll bleed this into initial thoughts. I really enjoyed David Harbour as Red Guardian. I thought he was hilarious.
I like David Harbour, yeah.
I watched Alone with no comments that got us sidetracked.
Oh.
We saw them
What?
all. We saw all the knockoff jokes. Maybe it's just been a long time since I've seen anything like this, but they were funny. It just wasn't like funny. I was like, oh, that's funny. You have to yell about it, Aaron.
Sorry, I'm very upset.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, no, I mean, he was all right. I wasn't. Again, I don't think this was that kind of a film where I was supposed to be like Endgame or something where you're like,
No.
damn. It was good. It was good for what it was.
Yeah.
Again, it was good for what it was. The same thing with Loki. The same thing with everything we talked about. Good for what it was. Let's see what happens next in the realm of a real big budget Marvel movies.
Yeah, I had fun as a standalone film. Like,
Yeah.
it was a
Definitely.
laugh. It was
It
a
was a
romp.
giggle.
See, so
I giggled. I watched it. I was like,
But-
my mouth was filled with hot chicken. My nails scratching my malignant, fucked up neck with just hot sauce everywhere.
Malignant
And-
neck.
Yeah, my malignant neck was just oozing hot chicken and good vibes. And I was like, yeah, that's great, man.
is
I'm all
this show
about it.
already going off the rails? Are we losing this already?
But so after Loki, which had such a huge impact on the MCU, watching this movie, which
Has no
There,
impact
yeah, there
because
were
he
basically
dies.
no stakes.
Because she
except
dies.
maybe Julia Louis-Dreyfus showed up at the end,
Yeah, because Sam Jackson's contract has ended, so now they're
so
like,
she's Nick Fury.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis.
Aaron,
It's fun to
what
say.
did you think?
I liked it. I've heard again like pretty positive reviews of the movie. No one's like, oh my god, it's as significant and interesting and complicated as an Endgame or Infinity War or anything like that. But I did like it. I wish for my taste that it was a little more serious. Like I think this is one that they could have done a cooler like sort of James Bond spy espionage angle.
Sure.
And taken itself like just a little bit more seriously, like not have your jokes and have your whatever, because James Bond still has like the cheeky shit in it. But if this was more like Casino Royale style, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the newer Bond movies at all.
This is Casino Royale.
Yeah,
the Adele song.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I
Yeah,
was
it's my
gonna make
favorite
that
burger.
joke.
My favorite burger when I go to England is the Casino Royale
Casino Royale.
with cheese.
Yeah, what do they call? Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think I've already kind of said my piece, but yeah, if it was a little bit more serious at this point, I think we've already gotten through the clowny nonsense. And I get where they're going with it because your viewers are
It's
gonna
always
be like,
family friendly. Yeah,
yeah, it's all about family. But if you're not Vin Diesel,
Scourge.
you kind of want to watch something that's a little bit more like, all right, we're getting into it now. Let's instead of having just a bunch of clown jokes where he's like, potatoes, I don't even know her. I'm like, I guess.
That was Black
I'm like,
Widow's funniest.
Yeah,
joke.
I'm like, yeah, they don't get it because they're Russian.
I definitely I liked it, but again, like 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
like
it was good.
good. It's not like Thor: Dark World or anything. It's not
My
like the
favorite
real
movie.
fucking gutter of
Is that your favorite movie?
Oh yeah,
favorite movie just of all time in
Thor,
general.
Thor Dark World?
yeah.
Because the world's dark?
It's past
Past,
Citizen
present,
Kane.
and future.
Boom. Yeah, you think
It's better than the Godfather impression from Zootopia. The Godfather.
That's my
scene.
favorite part of the movie.
Oh, I mean, who disagrees with that?
Well, no one. But I would have appreciated and hope like kind of catapulting off of what Wes was saying, that if later I don't know, I don't want 20 more movies of that same like kind of dopey sense of
It's the same shtick
sort
of
of
them being like,
shtick. Yeah, I
oh,
agree.
he is Russian, so we're gonna make him talk kind of stupid and say dumb things. He's like, Natasha, why you no love me and my scrotum? Scrotum mean friends, right? And you're like, no, dude, you're Russian. Scrotum doesn't mean friends; it means balls.
you
It's
know
like,
that.
oh, balls. And I'm like, yeah, we've
Actually,
done this so many times.
I want to take that to segue. This is Cannonballs Podcast. You can subscribe to any of our
Any of our canon scrotums?
any of our social.
Any of our canon scrotums.
But so yeah,
Oh, I thought you were gonna go full rigmarole.
no, I'm not.
No, you segued.
I thought he was too.
So if you want to watch us live, usually on Sundays we are on Carcass Boys on Twitch. Full
Carcass Boys!
edited podcast. Then I edit it up, post it on
no one
Tuesdays. YouTube, Spotify. Other,
Yeah. If we were important, you'd see a reason to cancel every one of us every week.
that's
So
true.
Yeah,
Other podcast platforms. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, wherever.
Cannonboys at podcast.com.
Cannonboys@podcast.net.
ball friends at canon.com.
Are your balls too large?
We need
Are
to
your
get sponsored
balls-
by Manscaped. We can talk about balls in our
We
ad.
really do.
Yeah.
Well, I still stand by. We don't need a sponsor. We just let them free advertising. What do
We
they need to
just
be
give them the
mad?
free advertising.
Yeah, I'd give them free
Then
advertising.
just send them like a little tape in the mail.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, we
Like, hey, here's your
hooked you up.
podcast.
Yeah, we
Just give
scratched
other
your back. You
discount
scratch ours.
Yeah,
You scratched our fronts. We scratch your back.
we scratch your
Scratch our
balls.
fronts.
Scratch our
'Cause
fronts. Welcome
your-
to, welcome
your
to Ball
hair is so short.
Scratchers.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh, fondler.
Ball fondlers. Ball fondlers, boys.
So whatever. Going back to kind of the initial thought stuff, I did like it, but I'm really hoping that they lean farther away from the campiness that the first, again, 20 plus films have. And not that whatever, I don't want them to move completely away from the humor, but like it would behoove them to step like into a more serious, again, with more of their serious movies. Like Ant-Man can have the humor and whatever, because that's like
Yeah,
more
this-
Paul
this
Rudd
should have
shtick
been-
and that kind of thing.
I agree.
this movie had the
should have been
opportunity
more
to be more
serious.
serious.
This could have been a more serious
Um,
film. With less, I mean, and I even think when they did Endgame, they did kind of the same thing in Endgame where they threw in a couple little bullshit jokes, but the overall tone was serious enough where I was like,
Yeah, I agree.
I think that
Infinity
they,
War
I
and
think that
Endgame
like,
both walked that line of like when they got snapped and like there wasn't some joke made at the end like
Oh,
people fucking
snap.
die and it's
yeah, it was
it's like Tony's
snap.
like, oh snap, yeah, like
Yeah,
You gotta keep your funny characters funny, and obviously
your Star Lords and your fucking
Black
Widow's
not a
Drax.
funny
I
character.
do not see
Yeah.
Black Widow as being as much comedy as was involved in an entire Russian family that's had their lives taken and destroyed.
And they've been, like, brainwashed.
And they're like, oh, well, looks like mine has been stolen. I'm like, really, though? Like, maybe
No,
you should
you'd be upset.
I'm like, you're probably a little more angry about mine being stolen than like, oh, time to get the American chill pill. I'm like, I don't know about all that, It could have been a little more serious.
Speaking of an American chill pill, have you guys ever been to Ohio in 1995?
Know what happened?
No, I haven't.
Imagine, we could have though. We were legitimately
Yeah, we
alive.
were technically alive at
Yeah,
that
jokes
point.
on you.
We
We weren't, we,
could
weren't,
have.
we weren't dead yet.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
Yelena
like somebody.
is a little bitch, and she falls on her knee. She's crying, completely forgets the mechanics of bioluminescence.
I like the tone we're taking in the summary so far.
And what do you know? Is that fucking Hopper from Stranger Things?
Oh man, you're so gonna do this. This is how the show's gonna be.
I thought it was Hopper from Bug's Life.
My vibe completely changes.
Top five hoppers. The hopper used to pick up tennis balls.
Dennis Hopper.
Isn't the thing that like mixes grain called a hopper?
Hopper? Yeah. Farmers use a hopper.
We have them all already.
I think that's
enough.
already 5.
Grasshopper?
Moving on.
Yeah, hopper.
When grasshoppers play the violin with their legs, even though that doesn't make sense.
Today, Big Adventure Day. They have an hour to grab their floppy disks and run.
God damn it! God damn it!
Hopefully the mic will pick that up.
Why tell you how prepared I was?
Oh man! But everybody's like, we have to leave, and she's like, it's time for an adventure. I'm like, yo, bitch, this isn't good. Like, read the room. Read the room. Your entire family is just like, I thought we had more time. And she's like,
No one's gonna hear
it's adventure time.
She's like, play my song. By the way, did you guys have a song when you guys were kids? that
No,
you
I'm
just
a
wanted
grown-
your
I'm- Mine was American Pie.
my actual song, Kokomo by the Beach Boys.
I was
Dead
making a
ass.
movie.
Sing it
We'll
for me.
get there fast and then we'll take it slow.
That's what they go.
Everybody hit
Oh,
that.
not a Kokomo. Yeah, dude, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was
good
my
song.
jam. as a
That's
4-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love myself.
fantastic. Go down to Coco.
Yeah, we'll edit that part out.
That's actually be the only part of the podcast.
It'll be a 5-minute podcast.
It's just Marty talking and us singing Kokomo. That's the end. It's the entire show, boys.
So what's the closest communist country? Well, that is Cuba.
Kokum. Sorry.
Good old Cuba. I can't believe the entire rest of the film took place
Yeah.
in Cuba.
Big League Cuba.
Oh man, so we flash forward to just after Civil War. Good old
Yep.
Thunderbolt Ross is trying to track down Natasha.
Yeah,
The
TBR.
Thunderdome.
TBR.
Thunderbolt Ross.
He fails. She runs away to Norway.
Yep.
Um,
Also known as the Cuba of the North.
the Cuba of the Nordic
Netherlands.
countries. Yelena's not in Norway though. She's in Morocco.
The Cuba of the South.
She's chasing down a target, stabs her like Arya Stark in the Night King, and then
Yeah, that was
So
nasty.
this was definitely filmed, and that scene was choreographed after Game of Thrones came out.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
for
after.
sure. Yeah, like no doubt.
Hands
Because
down.
obviously it was probably took like a year or two to make the movie, and obviously like delay with COVID and stuff. But I mean, Game of Thrones ended now
Game of
a
Thrones has
couple
been done
years
for
ago.
years.
I feel like, and yeah,
Yeah.
that move because that's like it was the
She
same
learned it-
shot,
yeah,
like,
she
it was the
learned
same,
it-
like below to the lower hand.
She learned it watching Arya do
Yeah,
that.
she's
and
a big-
like,
She's like, I
and
love
then
Game of
King's
Thrones.
like, got you by the throat, and she's like,
The
yo,
throat.
my throat's your throat, huh?
Yeah.
Stab it,
Hold
dude.
those thoughts, my laptop's dead. So, Yelena's hit has some gas that snaps her out of this trance, and she's told, hey, free those other girls.
Give us free.
The man behind the
Curtain.
curtain, sure,
Iron Curtain.
who kills...
Iron Cheek.
He says activate the Taskmaster protocol.
Delay.
Give us the Taskmaster.
Wasn't that what Marty? Did he laugh out loud? It was something like that.
Marty,
It was just like
Marty
this random
watched.
bit.
They had all those scenes that were supposed to be like jokes based off of bullshit. We all
Nothing,
sat there
just-
quietly, and Brian's like, "I'll have to this one, I'll have to-" the last one that wasn't as funny. Marty's like, right, Marty, is that right, Marty?
I'm clearly injured.
He's just cackling.
Yeah, and Marty's like, oh, right, wasn't that right, Marty?
So Natasha is in Norway.
Yep.
She has some sort of fixer guy who is Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, baby. American woman.
He helps manage her identities and bullshit,
And manager band.
and manage her
You
band.
can be a star. You just have to come stay in this hotel room with me.
So she's hanging out in her trailer watching a James Bond movie and runs out of gas for her generator. So she goes to hit the old Norwegian gas station, or petrol as they call it in Europe.
Classic Norway / Cuba.
And Taskmaster hits her with some sort of mine or rocket or, something that should
Yeah,
probably
it was
kill her.
fucking
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just gets
Fucking
blasted.
Taskmaster. Just
Tabs jammer.
Taskmaster. Fucking guy with his RPG.
Yeah,
He's the Taskmaster General.
he shoots the
Task-
shit out of her.
Taskmaster. Masker. Task. What a douche.
So anyway, he's going after that gas that for some reason Yelena mailed to Natasha and knew she was in Norway.
Yeah, she sent it to her in that mail thing that they were like, yeah, we have all your mail. And she's like, I don't want.
With the biomedical.
Yeah, big envelope just with like a thing that looks like a gauntlet covered in Infinity Stones. And she's like, I don't want to open any of that shit. I'm like, is that the Infinity Gauntlet? Does she have like.
I would
bunch
leave
of-
that closed.
She's like, yeah, I don't want any of that smoke.
So Natasha escapes by getting kicked off a bridge, but she already has what's in the briefcase.
Yeah,
Tricks
joke's on
the
her.
Taskmaster and heads to
Taskmaster.
Budapest,
Budapest.
Yeah, the Cuba of the Middle East.
Cuba of the Middle East. She runs into Yelena at the safe house. They start to fight. They have a little truce after They reveal the Red Room is still active.
You know, they're doing that autoerotic asphyxiation shit, and I was like, this
They're so evenly matched they could choke each other out, and they knew exactly what the other was into.
They knew exactly when to stop before the other lost consciousness.
right, yeah, especially since they both finished at the same time. So it's perfect.
Sisters, am I right? Holding hands.
Yeah, I was like, damn, they really picked that timing out. Just a quick close up of ScarJo's ass, and we moved on from that
Get
scene.
her crawling around. Full shots of her on the ground. They were not
Straddle your sister.
they were not shy with the occasional just ass shot, and not even like, oh, it's her just standing there and she happens to just have an ass. It's like, no, it's like waist down ass shot. Yeah, like,
Yeah, she's like having a conversation with the commissioner. She's close up on her butt.
Cameraman just
She's like, sir, I think that we need to, and the camera just goes lower and lower. And I'm like, is this important? Isn't she like monologuing?
Yeah.
And nope, doesn't matter. It's just her ass.
So Yelena's asking her about taking out Dreykov. Did you check your kill?
Dreykov
Did we
Malfoy.
confirm the body's there? There was no body. Anyway.
There ain't no body. I ain't got no body. I got no family. But little did we know.
So Natasha had to blow up some sort of embassy with Dreykov in it, and saw his daughter was in there.
I didn't think that was. I thought that was stupid. I didn't like that.
that she killed the daughter.
Well, just that she's like, the little girl goes in and she's like, blow it up. Like, number one, you've been a murderous Russian clown for years, so like, what do you care? Like, how's this important? Also, like, if you know he's in there, just go in there and kill him yourself. Like, all he has is smells.
She doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, but his big superpower is smells, and they didn't even know that. So like, why wouldn't you go in there and be like, I'm gonna kill you anyway? And then she's like, I wish it would have been like, she goes in there and tries to kill him, and she's like, you sure do
Also,
smell good.
while we're talking about pheromonal locks, snipers.
No, you're right.
You can smell
Nobody
him a
in the
mile
same
away.
room as me can kill me.
Does he have like bulletproof glass? I mean, if
He has bulletproof smells.
if he made a fucking sky castle, like I think the guy probably has some defense.
That's Sky Castle that's somehow undetectable. Like,
You know,
I'm like
of
flying
course,
like 737 from like Chicago to Newark, and I'm just like,
That's what
I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Was like, we'll be a quick up and down, about an hour 45.
absolutely.
What is that? Weather in Newark is holy fuck.
There's a goddamn sky castle.
Holy fuck! What is that thing? It looks like a giant Johnson.
Yes.
A long. What a great
Austin.
Austin Jackson.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
So Natasha and Yelena are interrupted by a bunch of other widows. One gets killed remotely by Dreykov. They get chased by Taskmaster, who's just driving a armored tank down the streets of Budapest.
Just smashing cars.
Yep.
Like, no regard for.
Also, like,
Budapest.
I don't know.
Actually,
I just feel like every scene like that, it's like you can just run over cars and destroy. Like, your tank would probably get a little fucked up. Like, they're not.
Momentum would be slowed.
But
oh,
like,
you
yeah,
could
they're
just
not.
crunch over
Like,
like a family in a minivan and like.
yeah, they're not. They're not meant to. Like, you can it's
For bullets, not cars.
it's to withstand stuff.
Or
It's
like
not meant to like
explosions
just
or, you know.
drive through shit. So like, you hit like 10 cars on the highway, your
Yeah.
shit's probably not moving anymore. Like,
You're driving like up over them slowly. You know, it's
yeah,
not.
you're
it's not something where you can go
like
50
your
miles an
treads,
hour
your treads are
exploding out of the
fucked.
way. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I mean-
he's like, this
I mean,
tank
even
is made out
so-
of fucking it's impenetrable. This whole tank is black box material. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ,
I mean,
genius.
even explosions. You know, there's IEDs in the Middle East all the time.
Oh,
yeah,
With a
yeah,
Coke bottle
yeah.
just blows up.
Yeah, and your
US
tank
Yeah.
tank is just completely down, and people have died inside, and he's just like, I drove over 10 minivans and killed 28 people, women, the children.
Yeah, he's shooting rockets from the top of his tank. That's like
I killed them all.
Just driving with his foot.
Yeah, like he's literally on the front. He's just like flooring.
aiming.
Yeah, he's got the fucking cereal held together with some.
He's got like a
Scotch tape.
some string. He's pulling.
Yeah, get the fucking Mr. Bean shit where he's on the top on the chair and he's driving it with the fucking strings. It would have been better if he was dressed like Mr. Bean doing it. I would be like, this is great.
Let's replace Taskmaster with Mr.
With
Bean.
Rowan Atkinson or whatever.
See, I
That would have been
watched
awesome if he
that.
busted his fucking helmet off and it was Ronan. Or he's got all these weird talents for random bullshit. Fucking Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. So Mr. Bean's chasing him down in his tank.
Yeah, so they
Of London.
they shoot
Of London.
they shoot an explosive arrow at
Like
Taskmaster shoots an
Like the
explosive-
two that you have out here.
It skips off the ground.
banks it off the ground. Doesn't explode on the ground. Only
Not on the initial-
BMWs.
It's timed. He timed it really well.
He times it perfectly.
Yeah, like he's like 3, 2, 1, let go, and it's like beep, and then it explodes. Like he knew it. He knew it was gonna. Like he's like set the timer.
Just
Just to
does
fun
that a
this
half a
stuff.
second too late and it hits and blows up in his face.
He just holds. He's like, wait, 3 or 2, and it just blows up.
So the car explodes, rolls down into a subway, and what do you know? It is the exact little air vent, exact subway station where Natasha and Clint, Mr. Hawkeye, Clint Eastwood hung out for 10 days in Budapest.
Clint Eastwood, he's talking
Literally
to
the
that
exact terminal. They were just in the vent, the same vent.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
High, because she probably planned it out
That's right.
She
subconsciously.
knew.
She was already talking to Melina.
Bill and Melina Gates. Actually, never mind.
Anyway,
you better Melina over because I got something to tell you.
they they tricked Taskmaster with some of Yelena's blood.
Which also, like, I always love those scenes because you literally have like 3 seconds to make a move. Like, I'm carrying one of you guys like bleeding out through a subway, and I'm like, hold on, let me just smear your blood on this grate, and then I'm gonna hold it, and you like lift me up, and we get into this vent, and then we're good.
This crazy plan.
Yeah, I'm like, how about this crazy movie distract? I'll put the blood all over like the driver of the train, and he's just gonna murder that dude.
Yeah.
We'll be the passengers on the train
We'll
disguised as drivers of another train.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did you come up with that in 3 seconds that you had to make this move after your car
She's a
blew up
stripper.
into
She's an
the
Avenger.
fucking subway? Like, your car gets destroyed, knocked into a subway. My buddy's bleeding out, and I'm like, smear your blood all over like one of the doors, and then like don't bleed forever.
And stop
Just
bleeding.
stop bleeding.
And then stop it.
And then just no more bleeding, and we'll hide in this vent. Remember Hawkeye? You're gonna kill him later on, probably because of the end of the
Because
episode.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus told you to.
Because you told me to.
President Julia Louis.
Reap
It's in the same universe as Veep.
Oh boy. So
Christ.
they escape. They decide they're gonna go after Dreykov, but they need to break their dad out of a Russian prison.
Oh, baby. I'm sure there'll be no stereotypical prison or Russian tropes at all.
They were definitely rushing
Why
to get
not?
that done.
So
Edit
Hopper,
that out.
we find Hopper telling a story about beating up Captain America back in 1984.
Well,
Who nobody cares
we
about.
get the clear image of how fucking tough he is, because not only is he arm wrestling inmates, he's doing it casually telling a story while getting a tattoo on
Of
his back
himself.
of himself.
Yeah, and they also, all the inmates think that he's just cool as shit. Like, none of
Yeah.
them, they're all like, we're all buds.
They're like,
They all know the story too.
Well, yeah, welcome to maximum security prison, probably, because you're a super soldier. We're all super chill. Like, we'll arm wrestle you, and then when we lose, we'll be like, oh, shucks,
You
you
break
want some
my arm."
green beans? Like, none of them try to kill him. None of them try to, like, fuck him up. They're all just like, yeah, we're in prison together. We might as well be buds. Classic prison. You guys ever been to prison and everybody's
Prison
best friends?
You know what the worst part about prison is?
Dementia. They just like got your soul in it. All right.
You remember that bit that James Gandolfini didn't do?
Oh boy. Throwback to last week.
That's a callback to one whole week ago.
Yeah, you guys remember last week's episode? Me neither.
Sure don't.
I got paid $3 million to not remember it.
Oh man, Aaron's on fire today. He must be drinking. It's that sink water he's got.
I know, yeah, it's so
It's that
lukewarm.
piss warm sink water that he's got.
It is hot when facing me and cold when facing away for some reason.
So, when someone calls out Hopper about how Captain America was still frozen in 1985, he breaks the dude's arm.
Like easily.
true.
And the guy's
Oh,
arm
yeah.
the guy's arm shatters.
And literally, it's like a noodle. But like the CGI in that scene, it just like flops.
His arm looks worse than Paul George's leg.
Not worse than Gordon Hayward's leg, but
No.
Who just did it again? Somebody else just did it. Oh, Conor McGregor.
legs always be breaking.
Legs be breaking,
Dude,
man.
fucking Giannis like tore his ACL basically, and is like, yeah, no, I'm gonna drop 40 and 20. And
That's
then-
because you don't need an
Finals.
ACL. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Conor
need
McGregor's like, the UFC knew that I had pirate stress fractures before the fight, matey. And, they thought I tried anyway. Dustin Poirier's a bitch. I'd fuck his wife. I'm like, all right, bro.
She was in my DM.
I'm like, dude, you're like a pirate with one leg who just drinks like shit whiskey. Like, are you kidding me, Conor McGregor?
Robert 12.
Yeah, this is not brought to you by Conor McGregor or Robert
We
12.
all drink proper 12. And
I
it's
poured
not
Robert
very
12
good.
on her gash.
Please don't bring that back.
Did you want to use a gas joke?
Shit.
Yeah, your wife, Dustin. I poured proper 12 over her gash. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Why is he a pirate with one leg? Yeah, the UFC, they knew I was a pirate. They knew I had a peg leg from the start, and I said, I'd take the fight anyway. Dustin Poirier's a bitch, and I fuck his wife. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. What are you talking about? And anyway, he breaks the guy's arm like Conor McGregor's leg. Except this dude's not like,
I need you to
I fuck your wife.
do
What?
I need you to do less table pounding.
No, I'm furious. I'm furious.
So, Elena and Natasha sneak Hopper an earbud and talk him through breaking out of prison.
Why would they not inspect that toy? That was
Dude,
odd. Maybe, like,
hands
maximum
down.
security
Hands-
prison.
again,
There's no
again.
way someone's bringing in some sort of.
Yeah, regardless, you have a man who's a super soldier, and I am a guard, and they're like, just
in
put
like
him
a
just put him
plexiglass.
behind the table. I'm like, yeah, well, this guy, like, right, like, he's a like, he can just murder people, like, by snapping, right? And they're like, yeah, but don't worry, because there's, like, some glass. And I'm like, well, he can't punch through it. Like, oh, no, easily. Like, he doesn't have to.
No,
it's like,
absolutely.
it might as well just be Swiss cheese. And I'm like, but what do I get paid? They're like, well, minimum. You're a brand new security
One
guard.
ruble
so
an hour.
I'm gonna give you one Rufus per hour. You get one Rufus doofus an hour, and you just sit back here and get your ass kicked.
Rufus Doofus.
I would be like, dude, I am not guarding this guy. That could easily. And then again, the craziest part to me is that they're dicks to him.
Oh yeah, they
It's
absolutely.
like, dude, like, they're like, yeah. Tell your wife I like your fucking snacks, bitch.
It's in your Robert 12 on your wife's
Yeah. I mean, your wife's gash all week, bro. And he's like, oh, you mean my wife's gash? And they're like, yeah, bro, fuck you. You can't break through this glass. And he's like, yeah, what if I just
just reached right
And the
through
guy's like, oh shit, that's my guard shirt.
Yeah.
That's
That's my guarding neck.
Your wife, he's like, well, Johnny's like, your wife ironed this last night after I ate her gash. And he smashes his head. And I'm like, wow, these guards are ballsy as shit, man. Like, are you kidding me?
If I'm going to defend the MCU, he's been there 20 years. He went straight from Ohio 1995, 6 years after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Just want to throw that out there.
Brian's
This
got the timeline pulled up.
Russian sleeper cell family.
Yep.
He went straight to prison, so maybe he was a lot more hard to deal with in the first 5 to 10 years. But
So,
he's,
like, what?
he's
So,
just
like,
accepted his fate.
Yeah, so like they make the every time, like every issue, every mistake that everything makes, where like every sort of like law enforcement agency makes, where it's like he's been good for 5 years.
Places.
Let's put him in just minor security now.
Exactly.
So everybody makes the same mistake. Or it's like this dude could
Everybody
literally
makes
murder
mistakes.
everybody here.
Well,
but
well,
you know
can't
what?
put him on the raft.
Yeah, no, good behavior. So just put him in like he's in Enfield, Connecticut State Penitentiary now.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "What are you in for?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm like a Russian sleeper, and I murdered a bunch of people."
I'm basically a superhero.
1985.
Yeah, the other guy's like, "Yeah, I'm here because I ran a couple red lights and drove off because I was high on heroin."
Yeah.
So-
I was on drugs.
They break the Red Guardian out, but not before
shit.
they bury a bunch of prisoners and guards alive under an
Under
avalanche.
an
Again,
Yeah.
just close your doors.
Just collateral damage. They're just like, who cares about these guys?
Now
Who builds a prison there?
Yeah.
And also, like,
Under fucking Mount
yeah,
Everest.
close your door. Like, just shut the door. You have food probably, right? Like, what are you feeding them? Nothing.
You should.
Like, you could be okay surviving, like, trapped in an avalanche for a long time in a prison structure like that. If it was like a little shack that I built that I was hanging out with Hopper at, I'd be like, yo, bro,
We're in trouble.
good luck with your Russian family. I'm gonna get killed unless you guys take me.
No, I want you to put yourselves in David Arbor's shoes, right? So you get a call from the MCU. It's Kevin Feige. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, it's Kevin Feige. You can tell by my baseball cap.
Who are you?
I want you to play a Soviet Union version of Captain America.
Okay, but
called Red
again,
Guardian.
yeah, but one more time. Who are you?
I'm gonna put you on this special diet.
What is it?
Now you're David Harbour,
You're
right?
gonna be
You're like,
fat.
I'm gonna be fucking ripped, like Chris
I'm so
Evans.
excited to be shredded.
Chris Hemsworth.
It's only pizza.
You've been in prison for 20 years. David Harbour's like, oh man, I'm like
I'm
45.
fucking cut up. I'm daddy.
I want to say too, he got like big for Hellboy, and they're like, no, you got to reverse Marlon Brando this shit and put on like 30, 40 pounds of
I'm just garbage. Like, you made
Some old Russian ladies have been sending you baklava for the past 20 years.
And he's like, yeah, but like there's knives in it, right? And they stab people and work out. They're like, no, you just eat it. You just eat it.
We know
You're eating the baklava. He's like, you want me to eat baklava for 40 years in 3 months? And they're like, yes.
It's like, we know right now, David, you're 40, 45 years old, but we want you to look a bad 55. Okay, we want you to look.
I'm gonna be like a very attractive 45-year-old. They're like, we want you to be a very unattractive 55-year-old. He's like,
You know, and Chris Evans are the same age, right?
Exactly.
He's like, what's my alternative? They're like, well, we'll pay you $3 million not to be on The Office. Like, fuck, that's a tough
It's like
deal.
gabagool. Like, no, you can't say that either.
It's either
Property of HBO.
Yeah, it's either this or you, the new Tony Soprano. What do you want? He's like, oh fuck, just call me Russian.
So they break him out.
He looks good.
He wants to know, did Captain America talk about him?
That was like weirdly sad.
Yeah, he's like, has Captain America ever mentioned me? They're like, not even the slightest.
Yeah, they're like, Captain America doesn't know who you are.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh shit. Yeah, that's definitely some one-sided relationship. In his mind, he's like, we're equals, and they're like, Captain America doesn't give one fuck about you. He's never thought about you for one
Captain
second.
America fought Nazis and then was frozen for
Yeah.
60 years.
Yeah, he beat an intergalactic, multi-dimensional threat. You could chill the fuck out. Or beats, I guess, in the future.
You killed him. I don't even know who you are. Is the Thanos of the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Wait a minute.
So, they find out Mom is still alive. Her name's Melina.
Her name's Rachel. She's been trying to fight Imhotep for years.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser has gotten in incredible shape to play George of the Jungle, but then gotten incredibly fat because why the fuck would he stay in that shape to play George of the Jungle? So
She's an Egyptologist and doesn't like Brendan Fraser coming in with his American swagger.
His American
that's what it is.
Yeah.
He shows up and he's like, "Whoa,
He's
baby!"
lackadaisical attitude. Having her, I guess she was significant, but again, I didn't know if they needed like her character a ton. Like it would have been better a little bit if she wasn't, if she had died or something, and then it was some like avenging her death. And well, I guess they're avenging
This
like,
is for
Again,
Mom.
the loss, the loss
again,
from like the whole
again,
system. Or
we're
whatever.
doing the same thing that we've been doing with Loki. Is I would have rather she's dead, and then like at the end she's like, "I'm alive, bitches."
Oh yeah,
like that would have been
at the
better.
end.
Like even
It's
if,
revealed that like
if you want to
She's
kill her off,
Taskmaster.
yeah, that would have been cool.
that would've
But
been
like,
pretty
but
cool.
like
I
if she
would
was dead the whole time, that's fine. But I think that if they would have brought it up at the very end, where he's like, "I have one more surprise for you, Mr. Power," and like it's her, she's like,
just
yeah. She's like, "Oh shit, Mom, you're a fembot," and like that's it. I was like, "Yeah, okay."
Seth Green.
Yeah, Mom's been a fembot the whole time. Like that's fucking cool. But like to have her just show up and she's like,
Well-
"I like pigs." I was like, "Okay, that's cool.
So
I like pigs too, bro. Take it all day."
she likes pigs. She's raising them.
The pig noises.
She could make them suffocate
Hold their
themselves.
breath.
Hold
Yeah.
their breath.
Yeah, she can choke out pigs. Wow.
She's like, this is my pig Houdini. He told me for 10 minutes. I'm like, what?
He's just trying to untie fucking like handcuffs with his little pig head.
Straight jacket.
Do you guys know Houdini died.
He got punched in the stomach.
I thought it was like a trick for years, and then I
Oh,
heard
no.
some guy was just like, "Oh, you're Houdini, right? You get punched in the stomach real hard." He's like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like,
He fucking give him a shot. And he's like, I killed Houdini.
He's a punk bitch.
It's like Mike Tyson, just like, hey, do you mind if I give you a shot to the chest?
"Hey, it's like Houdini."
It's like a little magic. It's like a little kid. The 3-year-old's like, Mr. Houdini cannot punch you for the newspapers. And he's like, sure, son. And he goes, oh, die. The kid's like, little kids got fucking rocket.
Yeah.
You guys
grew up to be Evander Holyfield.
you guys know about Rasputin, right?
It's Muhammad Ali. Yeah.
I read a bunch about Rasputin lately because I don't sleep very well anymore.
Yeah, no, I like all this research you're doing. Tell us about Rasputin.
Yeah, fuck you, Aaron. Thanks, Brian.
So you did watch the first Hellboy.
We're a real podcast now. Tell us about Rasputin.
all right, so Rasputin, right? So a lot of people,
unqualified people telling us about history. Go.
a lot of people think
Wes did 10 minutes of research.
On Wikipedia.
Wikipedia's legit. A lot of people think that Rasputin died, like he got shot a bunch. It wasn't even all that. Like, so the story of Rasputin is they try to poison his cakes, and he doesn't like sweets, so he doesn't really eat that many cakes. And also, the guy making the poison was like kind of like an alcoholic guy who like he just fucked up shit all the time. So like, you make the poison. He was probably just like, poison for myself, and just was like gave him regular cakes. And then he shows up, and they bring a guy out and who shoots him like once. And the guy like doesn't double tap or shoot him in the head, and Rasputin like wakes up like, oh shit, like this dude didn't like, these guns are not good, so he shot me like with a slingshot in the chest, and I was like, oh, and he's like, I killed Rasputin, and they all show back up and like shoot him in the head, and then he just dies. But like everybody always thinks that Rasputin survived a bunch of crazy shit, but it's
He was
not
like
true.
poisoned and thrown in a river.
Yeah, like
stuff
shot.
that.
It's like yeah, his cause of death was drowning. It's like no, his cause of death was getting shot in the head.
He got shot in the head.
He just happened to survive everybody else's bullshit attempts at killing him because they were like, I'm gonna kill Aaron. Let me just flick his ear.
Flick his ear a bunch.
I'm like, ah! he's like, that was weird. I'm like, he's dead. I killed Rasputin.
Did you guys know Rasputin was 6'4"?
Yeah, he was huge.
Did you know that his penis is in a jar that's in like a museum in Europe somewhere?
Is that right?
I swear.
Was
to
it a
God.
big penis?
I believe it was.
Yeah, no, that's why he's such a legend.
He's a legend because he's a giant dick in a jar.
Rasputin penis.
Rasputin dick in a
I was
jar.
gonna say the mythical magical member. I'm like that's the name of like the first thing.
Oh, the Triple M.
Have you guys heard the Rasputin song? Have you ever heard?
I don't think
It's
so.
like Rah Rah Rasputin or whatever. Dude, you guys have no idea what the fuck is it?
Oh, Aaron Larry.
Hold on.
Aaron Larry.
I'll
everybody.
fucking
Aaron Larry,
if
ladies and
Brian's
gentlemen.
if
That's
Brian's
thick.
if yeah, that's frightening.
Like that's all shriveled up after being dead. You know?
I'm not sure.
Um,
we need something for scale.
I feel like. Oh, 1 second.
A banana.
I feel like.
There's that Rasputin action figure we all had for scale.
Yeah, it looks kind of swollen, kind of like a gooey duck.
It does look like a gooey duck. I totally agree. That's fucking fucked up.
It's like yeah. I don't know how your penis would handle like being preserved in a jar for a year. I feel like it would look like that. Like I feel like anybody's dick would look like that. It'd get all swollen. With,
You
like,
think it
chemicals.
engorge?
Absolutely. It's not dry in a jar, right? They didn't just cut my dick
Could
off
I
and
use,
slap
could
it
I
in a
use
jar.
this while alive?
Engorge your penis with liquid?
With formaldehyde.
Gorgeous penis with formaldehyde.
Yeah, please don't.
Hmm.
Brian's like, I'm considering it. He's like, did you say engorge my penis? Did you say formaldehyde? Did you say penis?
Did you say Rasputin?
Did anybody say Rasputin? Did you say jar penis?
So Melina can control pigs' minds. That's important somehow.
It's really not.
Speaking of family being everything, Melina reveals that Natasha's mother didn't give her up. She was just taking little planned economy type bullshit.
Does that make me feel better? Like I get
Nope.
it's a change from being angry at like the abandonment to being angry that my life was stolen by like the Russian government or
Communism.
like, whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
now I'm just mad at communism, but also like, what does that add to our feelings? It doesn't add anything. I'm not like, oh man, how dare they kill her? I was like, yeah, no
They
shit.
probably killed her.
Yeah, my instant reaction was like, I bet you she got killed. And he's like, and then we had her killed. And I was like, yeah, no shit. She was like, my daughter, I will find her. And the guy's like, I will give you $10, which is a lot of money in Russia. You leave your daughter alone. She's like, no. Instead, I find her. He's like, well, now I kill you. And he's like,
she dies.
well, now it's time for death. And she's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's almost
guess
as
it
if
is.
that organization
It didn't do much for me.
wasn't very
Yeah,
trustworthy.
I would honestly, I think it was a better call just being like, yeah, your mom, we don't know where she is. She's probably dead somewhere. She just was like a crack addict.
It's
to be
like
able to
Ray's
rush and
backstory where they're like,
Rush and
honestly, it
crack.
would have been better if you guys were just like, no one fucking knows who Ray was. She's just a random person, and
Yeah.
and you know, the savior of the universe
You're
can be
nobody.
anyone.
Your
Yeah, it
parents-
can be a
your parents
nobody.
were
And that's
janitors.
okay. Yeah, like
And she's
it's
like,
fine,
yeah,
you know?
alright.
They're like,
Your
no, we
parents
gotta
saved you.
gotta tie
sold
it
you
back.
for a quarter portion.
yeah, seriously.
And they got that big fucking thing with the soup that comes from the sky.
yeah, my ceiling
Yeah.
oatmeal.
Guy soup. They're like, yeah, we'll give you this baby for a couple bowls of oatmeal. It's like Finn the Human's father, who's like a complete degenerate. Like, it's
Yeah.
the same idea. Where I was like, it could have been like,
I've watched that show.
Loses his arm for a damn flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing, guy?
So after this heart-to-heart, Melina reveals she alerted the Red Room. They're on their way, which interrupts Alexei and Yelena's heart-to-heart, which is just singing American Pie.
My favorite song.
That was a little odd. That scene, like I totally get the purpose of it. And, like,
Missed,
it
I
wasn't
missed
bad.
the mark again.
It was
I think they just missed the mark again with it. It didn't do anything for me. I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
Because
that
again, we
time.
didn't have the context of like in the beginning. I mean, did they sing it in the car?
They did.
The initial
sang it in
thing.
the
They
car.
do sing it a
On
little
their
bit.
way
yeah,
on their
yeah.
big adventure.
No, you're right. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
well,
but
like,
again,
the very beginning.
It just missed the mark for me.
I don't know. It just, yeah, I kind of agree that it. I don't know.
I
They did
wasn't-
have it in the beginning, so like I will give them that it wasn't just like some pulled.
Oh, I've
pulled
gotten
out of
way
nowhere,
more
but-
emotional with films than I used to be. So like, I will cry at anything. But I had no. I
You had
no
nothing.
feelings. I had no
Because
feelings.
David Arbor was like, I was a 0%, or you thought I was a 0% effort dad, but I was like a 2%
Yeah.
effort dad.
Yeah, again, his like
I was like this.
that scene made me feel as good as Black Widow felt. Or
I remember
like,
that song you forced us to
Yelena
play
after.
every day for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. you're a great dad.
It did not do much for me. I was not like, oh my god, what a great father.
It's like the crazy parent
You
that like
do care.
Oh, man, like he jumps into the fucking upside down, and I'm like, well, that's really sad. And this one, he's like, I play American music for you,
American Pie. You like
American Pie Woman.
right?
Stay away from me, please. You know, like, yeah.
But it was definitely that scene reminded me of like the parents who are hyper aggressive with like their kids' education, or like, no, you can't have friends because you have to focus on
You gotta
sports
practice
exclusively
chess.
because you're
You gotta be the best fucking chess player
you're
in the
gonna
world.
play oboe like nobody's fucking business, and or whatever, and then like that person
Yeah,
goes on
I
to
look
like
up at the ceiling. I'm just picking out chess moves. Like, not good enough, bitch.
yeah.
Well, after the helicopter crash, he's like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you girls. You both have killed thousands mercilessly."
Yeah, and they're like, no, that doesn't make us feel good necessarily. It wasn't that we chose or would have done
Like-
that organically, like without your influence.
In the name of the worker,
yeah.
you have killed thousands.
I've cried at more things that are stupider than this.
Uh,
They did not hit me at all with this one.
So it seems like Melina has sided with Dreykov, but no, we got those mask things from Winter Soldier where your face looks like someone else's face.
And she's like, this is not my face, it is my face. But we're both Russian,
Not
so
the
you cannot
same
tell
face.
us.
Dreykov is like, it doesn't matter because you could smell me. Your classic pheromonal lock.
Of course.
I have smelled some nice smelling people. I'd still fuck them up if I had to.
Yeah, if you had to punch him.
Yeah. Well, like what? All right. So like, what if I smell like? What if I'm trying to get it on with Dreykov, and
Well-
he's like hits me in the face, and I'm like, well, I wish I could turn you on, but no, I can't.
She tries
because
to give him the old rope-a-dope.
So I was a little confused at how like
Oh, Rocky.
Yeah.
What's Rocky?
Hey,
Boy,
Adrian,
come on, hit me.
come on. What are you gonna do about this?
it's her just punching a fucking half of a cow in a freezer. You're like, why is she
Trying to
doing
teach you a lesson, Adrian Shermatov.
Come on, that's all you got.
I'll say Wes is bordering on like mental handicap, like just a speech impediment.
Yeah, clear it up. Just in case any of our listeners take offense.
Oh shit. No,
We've had a couple people pop in and out of the chat.
I think
That's
the bit of like the pheromonal lock or whatever, it would make more sense to me because there's like the bit that he sort of reveals it is like she goes to stab him and like freezes like she hits like a force field. That's not how. There's no way that even if that was like a thing,
It wouldn't like stop there.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
I wouldn't want to hurt you because I'm under the influence of your smells. I wouldn't be like, time to die.
Yeah,
Oh,
like I'm
no.
frozen, like my knife can't go any
and then it
further.
just turns back on me. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So, no, well,
Yeah.
it would make more sense if like she went into the room and like smelled him, and then like her senses like bugged out and she couldn't fight because like
It would fuck. It would.
like
Well, it
synapses are
would
firing or
fuck
something.
you up a little bit, where she's kind of like, she wouldn't just be like, I'm completely clear-headed, except I can't stab you.
Except you have like
You'd be
some
like-
sort of force field.
I'd be like, oh shit, man, like, yeah, I don't know what you're wearing, but it's got me high as fuck.
You guys know, you guys know the Scarecrow's like fear toxin. And
Yeah,
like,
right,
Batman
like-
movie where he sprays and like everything's super scary.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's what it
it
is.
should be like akin
It
to
should be
that,
like that.
where like it totally just fucks with her sensor. Because again, that's gonna immobilize someone.
I was thinking more Ocean's 11, where Matt Damon puts on the big fake nose and seduces
When
them.
Tobey Maguire peel, or not fucking Tobey Maguire, what's his face? Robin from Batman peels off the fake lips.
Oh,
I don't know. I thought that was from Spider-Man for a second.
So yeah, she gives him the old rope-a-dope.
She does.
He can't break her nose, so she smashes her own nose
She
on the
fucking
desk.
headbutts the shit out of that.
yeah. She's like, I wish you would have broken my nose, but
Punch yourself.
fuck
Like,
it, I'll
punch
teach
yourself.
myself a lesson, bitch. I was like, why? And then instantly,
works.
Instantly, it's like there's like a microchip in her nose that just detects
like
that,
falls out.
and it just
Yeah.
breaks. Like you ever break your nose, and then that's
You can
it.
break your nose. You can break your friend's nose, but you can't break.
Family's nose, because family.
She stops the block, nearly kills Dreykov, gets interrupted by some widows, then the widows get stopped by the gas.
Gas
They-
bomb.
They escape. Natasha frees the Taskmaster.
I'm gonna free, but like we're cool, right? And she's like, And she's like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
He tries it like 3 or 4 different times to be like, I'm not fighting you. Like, we're cool,
She's like,
right?
well,
And then it's
like,
like, no,
I'm
let's beat the shit
sorry
out of you.
about the shit. And she's like, I'm gonna kill you if I get out of here. She's like, but if I open the door, we're cool. And she's like,
Like,
no,
no, I'm
dude.
gonna
Once you
kill
open
you.
the door, I'm gonna kick your ass. And she's like,
It's like, I
but
can smell my dad.
Papa,
I do have to
Papa your
say,
pheromones.
yeah,
Papa, I smell you.
one of the Jesus Christ, one of the highlights of the movie was
Papa, I smell you.
the scene with Popeye where he's sniffing around looking for some.
Hey. And he gets really strong and then punches her in the face and
Yeah.
breaks the pheromonal connection.
Yeah. David Harbour eats a bunch of spinach and then attacks the guards because he's so strong now. Yeah. He does
Punches
it-
right through the glass and
he
chokes that dude
he
out.
squeezes it and it shoots up into his mouth. And then it
Instead of like the anchor on his arms, it's the hammer and sickle.
Oh man, I'm like, yeah, I'm in charge of you guys, but just put me across the table from this mass murderer, super soldier guy, and I'm gonna be a dick to him the whole time. Bold as fuck, man. Those guys were bold.
They
Those
were
are
bold.
the boldest security guards of all time.
But
I stand by
so
that shit.
What I think one of the highlights of the movie, just period, was the fight choreography was consistently like pretty damn good. Like they and Marvel in general does
Oh,
pretty
always.
good with
Yeah,
that
it's
stuff.
always solid.
But like there are some action movies where you watch the fight and it's like punch cut, kick cut. Like guy gets punched through the wall, cut. Like it's fucking just jostling all over the place because they can't like really choreograph.
Do it like
a fight
steady
scene where, like-
in like a 30-second
Where like
sequence.
her
Yeah.
Black Widow's initial fight with Taskmaster, where like she's sort of figuring out like on the bridge when he blasts her with the bazooka, he
Yeah,
comes
he
out
does.
and it's like the sort of introduction of yeah, fuck off.
Fuck off what?
It's the introduction of basically that he can copy people's powers, or not their powers, but their like fighting ability or whatever. And choreographing that scene's a pain in the ass. Her fucking neck swings and shit, and her fucking. You guys are laughing. I'm trying to fucking just talk through it. I don't care.
Audio listeners, just head to the YouTube. Give us more than one view.
The choreography was
The
fantastic.
choreography was good. Well, again, like the fighting, I appreciate that they do like the pulled back shot, and you can actually see what's happening, and it's not some like,
No, they're a real budget movie, so it's like, yeah, you have to learn this shit. Like,
yeah.
you better be able to put together 30 seconds of solid. You're gonna run around, and you're gonna harness, and you throw a kick, and then you throw an elbow, and then you giggle a little bit, and then you tell a stupid joke, then you punch this guy in the face, and they're like, yeah, you gotta be able to do all that.
Well, one of the
Hope you like professionalism.
one of the
bitch.
widows, like when they're all kind of possessed and fighting her, like just runs in and does like a full like parallel to the floor like chest kick, like the 2-foot like chest kick.
I like the little slide,
Red card temple right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of that shit was. I wish they could teach me that.
Yeah, some of the
That's
little
like my
slides
move
and
right there. I
stuff.
was like, man, she like slide kicked that bitch in the face.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights of the movie.
She's like, I am Black Widow, my face, and I was like, that's a great kick. Very nice.
So Yelena seemingly sacrifices herself to blow up Dreykov's plane, but that
Okay.
explosion just kind of throws her from the... Yeah.
It does what all explosions
there were-
do.
there
It
were
just
many-
shoot you away from
Yeah,
the
there
explosion,
were
not
many
actually hurt
there were
you.
many different ways to handle that, like face
She could've,
towards,
like, thrown it in.
face the other way.
She's
Face
like,
the other way so you don't blast yourself off the
it's like she's
entire
blowing
base.
a toilet. Like you can
Yeah.
jump off.
Yeah. So many other ways to do that. She's like, it has been nice being friends, and then blows herself up.
It
and I was
was
like,
real to me.
family is all that is important, please, right, Dom? And he's like, family's all that matters. Stab the helicopter. And I was
Then he
like,
drives the car up into the helicopter and it blows up. I thought that was awesome.
yeah, that was my favorite part, is when the Vin Diesel showed up.
He's like, I love BMWs.
On the ground, Natasha gasses the Taskmaster. Kind of the end of the
That's
movie.
kind of a tongue twister.
Natasha gasses the Taskmaster. You know, Wes has been unable to do the Taskmaster the entire movie.
Did you guys see my face? I was like, I can't say it. Gas is the Taskmaster.
That was good.
Thank you. I really had to think about it.
Yeah, that's
It really sucked.
That's about the end of the movie. There's a post-credit scene we'll talk about.
yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. It was decent.
Queuing up our post-credit conversation.
Brian's like, this is the end of this shit. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
So, spoilers.
Oh, baby.
Black Widow dies in Endgame.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, none
Who
of us
killed
matter.
her?
Uh,
Is it some drunken guy that looks like he's homeless?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's some
Red Skull.
Is it Thanos?
Indirectly, sure.
Yeah, that was definitely the picture of Clint when
He's like,
to talk about the post-credit scene
He's
and
got
not
like
talk about it. But it is a drunken like mugshot.
he literally has like a mug that looks like it's filled with just straight alcohol. His sunglasses down on his face.
Yeah,
He's like,
he's got a paper fucking. Paper
Am I
bag
the
in
only
his hand.
one who doesn't like Hawkeye?
No, Hawkeye's the lamest of all. Like
yeah, I'm not a huge Hawkeye
even
fan.
Black Widow,
I just,
like Black Widow has like espionage training or whatever, and like Hawkeye's just like I can shoot a shitload of
He's
arrows.
like the least. He's not funny in any way.
no, he's the Legolas
He's
of
not
the MCU.
serious.
Yeah, except Legolas is cooler.
Well,
Well,
we're
Legolas
gonna get
kills
a
people, so does Hawkeye.
series by the end of 2021.
Oh man, Hawkeye, look at my eyes.
Look at my Hawkeye.
And you know who is
Playing
cast
Hawkeye?
for that Hawkeye series?
Oh,
Florence Pugh, the actor who played Yelena. So Yelena is visiting Natasha's grave, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus comes in there. You guys haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? But you know she's in it.
now we do.
Yeah. So in that, the guy who takes the mantle of Captain America and kind of loses
Sam?
it for some not Sam.
I'm joking.
But you said Cham.
Samming Tatum.
Kind of loses it because of a little PTSD and a little murder.
I've been there.
He is cast as a dumb superhero named U.S. Agent. And
Ooh,
US
The USA man.
probably
Yeah.
Dark Avengers, maybe West Coast Avengers, but
Jesus
Julia
Christ.
Louis-Dreyfus is going to be
West
Nick
Coast,
Fury,
West Coast
basically.
Avengers, they use like a lot of avocado and.
Yeah.
What
I
else the
love
West Coast-
guacamole.
Yeah, what else the West
There's a lot of
Coast people do?
traffic.
Yeah.
Sun-dried tomatoes.
Mm. It's very just light based and a lot of.
Yeah, there's pretty good weather there, like consistently. Like
yeah,
it's
West Coast
very, you know,
Avengers, man. Why wouldn't you be on the West Coast?
you gotta watch out for the mudslides and the fire.
I don't mind a nice
The
mudslide.
mudslides, yeah, like with a little booze in there.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Oh baby.
I fuck
So
with it.
that's it. Elaine shows up and is like, hey, do you want to kill Hawkeye?
Yeah. You want to see me do my little kicks? And they're like, what?
Michael Richardson's like, hey, give me like 5 minutes here. I got some good material. Like, I don't know about that, Michael.
She shows up and she's like, this is a funeral. Anyone gonna dance? It's like,
Very nice. Very nice.
we-
I didn't think you were gonna
That's
continue
good.
with it.
No.
I was like, where's he going with this one?
I like it. Yeah.
I'm hungry. Can I get a big salad?
Yeah, for everyone not watching, Brian just did a little kick.
Just in case, for all the people that aren't listening or
For all
watching.
of me that's watching.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's do some Easter eggs here.
I love Easter.
painting Easter
Yep.
eggs.
Florence Pugh,
Florence Nightingale.
the actor who played Yelena, was actually just making fun of the Black Widow pose with the hand on the ground, and they turned it into a scene where she made fun of it.
I felt like that was one of the most genuine scenes like in the movie where I'm like, oh, this is like an actually like
They're
funny
sisters,
exchange. Yeah, and she's kind of roasting her for being lame, and like a part of me like that makes me think the movie's worse because one of the best like organic scenes in the movie or like one of the most realistic feeling scenes is
Her just being
like
a douche.
her just improvise
Yeah.
like something that the writers didn't do, but it was something that Florence Pugh was like,
This will be
this is
funny.
funny, and then the director's like, yeah, we can put it in. Like, sounds good.
Yeah,
you
might
know?
as well leave it.
And I guess
that won't be
whatever.
that won't be one of the biggest takes, and we're like
Like, yeah, that's one of like
we're
a
like
genuine moment, like between
listen
the
to
two of them.
Cannonballs because you know it's one of the biggest takes from this film. We're
Yeah.
like this should be your bread and butter. You should be appeasing us.
Her as Yelena is I don't know. I guess the cast as a whole was pretty good. Harbour, I think, did a good job and had his like dopey dad jokes.
I was surprised they picked
Scarlett Johansson is as old as David Harbour is probably, and is his daughter, which is odd.
Also, her ass is way better than David Harbour's.
Oh yeah, for sure. That yeah.
I would debate it.
She is
That's
Russia's ass, not David Harbour. If Chris Evans is America's ass and Red Guardian is Russia's ass, she is.
All right, we'll just jump ahead to this Easter egg. There were 7 gratuitous butt shots.
You
Oh,
got
yeah.
7. Count them. 7
I just made that up.
gratuitous butt shot.
Yeah. No, there were definitely some like okay, like I don't think anybody.
The most egregious one was when the generator runs out and she picks up the gas can, and literally
It's just
all
like-
it is just a pan follow of her ass.
They're like there's
For-
the
yeah,
gas
full
can, but
15
also
seconds.
here's her ass. And look, she's walking probably, but you can't tell. 'cause
gas,
all you can
ass,
see is
get
her ass.
it?
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
that's
a metaphor.
I was like, that's interesting. I'm like, maybe I could see some of the surroundings. No, just her ass. All right, I guess we'll never know.
And two, I mean, I'm sure part of it is just like Scarlett's like, I'm gonna train like 8 months super fucking hard to have like be in great shape. She's like, my ass needs like 2 to 3 minutes of uninterrupted.
That's the moneymaker.
My-
Part of her contract.
My ass should win 3 times the amount of
Good for her, then.
Oscars that Don Cheadle's gonna win. He's gonna have more screen time by like
Yeah.
3 times.
If I get nominated
Oh,
for
I
best
wonder what had
actress,
more screen time: Don Cheadle in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or
Scarlett Johansson's ass?
Johansson's
Scarlett
ass.
Johansson's ass
This
by
would
a
be a
mile.
great question on
ass balls.
on ass balls on my fake sports podcast that we're gonna do before this one. And this would be like the last question. Be like, what do you guys think? You know, like who had more screen time? And we'll catch you again next week, knuckleheads.
Natasha watching the Bond film. The actress who played Taskmaster was a Bond girl in one of the recent.
Yeah, it must be one of the newer.
Yelena jokingly calls her dad Crimson Dynamo instead of Red Guardian.
I think that is a
Crimson
superhero.
Dynamo is has been a number of people in Marvel Comics. Most notable, the father of Whiplash, who you guys would know as Mickey Rourke from Iron Man
From
2.
Iron Man 2.
Oh shit!
I
I was like,
like
where is this
Rourke.
going?
The
I was
callback
like,
that everyone was looking for.
Mickey Rourke. I'm like, from The Wrestler?
Last one, we talked about it during the movie. We get the origin story of Black Widow's weird green vest she wears during Infinity War.
Yep, it's a
Which is weird because then like they had her wear that vest in Infinity War for to set up a movie that 4 years later they were like for a reference that's like
Maybe not even.
that.
Maybe
Like,
maybe it's just a random
This movie
coincidence.
was probably 20 to 30 minutes too long, and that is definitely a scene they could cut. Is
Well,
the
it's-
explanation of this vest.
it's just weird
We
that
didn't
like
need it all.
so did they do that in Endgame?
To
Just
set this
like
up,
well,
or was it just
did they set it
random?
up or was it random and they're like you
I
know
think
what we
it's
could tie it
retcons.
back. You think it's right, but then weird. Like, who gives a fuck then? Like, was it such,
Again.
Was it such a thing coming from Endgame or?
They do a lot of things to like appease the comic book nerds.
Yeah,
They're
but
like,
this
Black
wasn't.
Widow never wore a green vest.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
this
I mean, I
wasn't.
guess.
This wasn't a good enough film, or an important enough film, to go into all that. Where it's like we need to explain why her
Explain
name's
the vest.
Natasha.
Like the Budapest thing. She said Budapest in past movies, and
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
that
Those
is not the
30
correct
seconds that didn't need to
pronunciation.
happen.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you gonna make this movie 2 hours, 12 minutes long? If half an hour of it's gonna be ass shots
An
and
hour
things that you don't
45
need
would
to
be
explain.
plenty. Yeah.
This would have been fine in an hour and a half. Hour.
All right,
45.
so predictions. I don't have a big predictions section because obviously Black Widow dies.
I think Loki's gonna show up and
Uh-oh.
save Black Widow, and
But-
it's gonna be a whole thing.
You think so?
No.
All right, so the only thing we can talk about is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character Val, and Florence Pugh is cast
And she is
in
cast
the
in
Hawkeye
Hawkeye.
show.
So I mean, I'd have to imagine then the story of the Hawkeye show is like in some capacity
Them fighting. It's gonna be them fighting.
Fighting, yeah.
Do you think
That's
it'll be
the
the
whole
whole
one.
show or just
No,
like,
No, I think 1 or 2, 3 episodes.
I think
and
that'll
then
be it'll be the Loki misdirected. Like, oh, this Loki's evil, and then they team up once they realize that they.
I
need
think
to
that she's
enemies,
gonna be
kind
like,
of
"You
thing.
killed my sister." She's like, "Watch the movie."
Yeah.
I was
loved
drunk.
her. You know, or whatever.
She threw herself off a cliff to stop Thanos.
So Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, I could see her like Dark Avengers type stuff, like, oh, the real Avengers kind of failed you. You got snapped. Yeah, they brought you back, but here's my team with U.S. Agent, failed Captain America, Black Widow's sister. Like she's building the
like,
not dream team,
The C-list Avengers.
the nightmare team.
Her son Ilyasova's on the team.
Yeah.
It's just a whole team of bullshit.
We've got Balto from the Iditarod races.
Got Cuba Gooding Jr. from the Iditarod races.
Oh, man. All right, so since our rebranding, we have now reviewed kind of two things: season 1 of Loki, Black Widow.
Two whole things we've done.
Let's talk about some lists, some stuff we could come up with. Just
Listicle.
yeah. So the Strono Tugs Award I want is just our list of worst things we've ever watched.
Are we doing awards?
Not really. Like
Or
we're not
you
going to do a
just-
highlight show.
No,
but
but do you just want to throw out a Strono Tugs award? right now?
like
Is that
after
come
we watch something, we'll be like, does this go into our Strono Tugs?
Or a
list?
couple
I'm gonna
of
say
we'll
no.
have some categories. No, I would say it's better.
Yeah, let me talk about Strono Tugs. So our very first ever Cannonballs episode, which is no longer on air,
What?
a review of
I think Brian deleted that one.
the short story "A Recipe for Death." I only deleted it because of audio issues.
Let's
Yeah,
let's
Which, who knows if this goes live?
no, yeah, but let's go back and do one more Strono Tugs thing like later on.
Strono
and
Tugs
pretend,
again, and
Pretend
just
we
put it
pretend
at
we never
episode
did it.
one.
Yeah, pretend we never did it.
Strono Tugs is the main character, the chef at Maz Kanata's castle.
Is
who
this the Strono Tugs
solved the
episode?
murder? This is the Strono
We're going
Tugs
right
episode.
into it.
Oh shit! Okay. Hit me with it.
So yeah, our Strono Tugs Award, just anything we watch that's really bad.
So I wouldn't say this is a Strono Tugs. Like it's not even close to the best thing that Marvel has made, especially in I think Black Widow is part technically of the first
It was very phase one.
section of I would agree. It's definitely more akin in my mind in the timeline because it's post Civil War. It's part of that initial.
How much Marvel stuff do you
kind
think
of
is
thing.
actually good though? Because I feel like we do.
Some stuff is definitely.
I think half too. I would say half.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like we do this a lot, and like we're like, yeah, Marvel Universe is
It's
fun,
even
but
like-
I feel like half of the shit they come out with, we're just like, yeah, that was a film.
Because
That
again,
was-
I
that
would
was a
argue
show.
like of the Iron Man trilogy,
Yeah.
like only one Iron Man is probably like really good. And I would say that's the
Three.
first one.
I agree. It's the
It's
first one.
probably the first one, and like with Thor, like the
Yep.
first one's pretty good. The second one is probably the worst MCU movie, and the third one is one of the best MCU
Oh yeah,
movies.
fucking Ragnarok's
Like,
the shit.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say
so
this is like a top, A or S tier, which maybe we do like a tier list instead of like our top
Oh, and
five
we, yeah,
favorite,
we
as
name
opposed
them
to,
by
like,
something.
we have like an S to like D tier or some shit, but
What
either
does
way,
the S stand for?
it's super good. It's S tier is always the best.
About like super.
I don't hate the tier list idea.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
I can
like
try.
S A B C
I'm gonna
D
give
kind of shit.
Yeah. So Loki, just quickly.
B.
B. I agree.
I'll say like A minus, but probably B.
Okay. B
Tier.
plus A minus. You
Yeah.
wanna settle there.
It,
I'm fine,
it's
man.
it's more on the. I think that one's on
I'd
the
go up. I'd go up to B plus on it.
tier.
So Black Widow, C plus, B minus, that range. C.
I'd say C plus. Again, not bad. Like there was good stuff in there. It's just
C
Like,
tier?
if we're gonna
Somewhere
talk, if we say like Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok and like whatever, or like the S tier Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing it, we're
I mean,
not doing
maybe
it
Black
based.
Widow was like a B minus.
Yeah, if we're doing
you
it
know,
based
'cause it's
off
not the
of
worst.
itself, if we're doing it based off of
Like in
Marvel
relation to
Universe,
Marvel, let's
exactly.
say.
So like, if the best
Yeah,
Marvel
we could
movie we've
group
seen are S, it would be like Ragnarok.
I feel like Infinity War is like pretty.
It's pretty
And
close.
we can suss those lists out.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's
But,
not the point, but
Speaking of sussing lists out,
oh baby,
Oh fuck yeah, give me some.
I wanted to come up
Show me
with
your list, baby.
show me that list.
you know,
Show me list, baby.
like people we love to hate, kind of a villainy list. So I wrote down lovers who hate.
Oh,
That's us.
That's what you.
That is us. We're
That's
the
our sign-off.
lovers. Who do we like? How are we gonna rank these?
Just in
these
general,
villains?
who we hate.
So Dreykov and Taskmaster will group together. I think just with the movie C, maybe even D.
I'd say lower than C. Yeah, I am not like.
See,
wow.
I think Taskmaster gets dragged down by Dreykov then in that regard. Like
Taskmaster was cool.
Taskmaster's cool. I think the
Taskmaster alone is
The costume?
I can't do
you
it.
really can't.
Taskmaster alone for me is like B minus C plus.
Yeah, and I think because
Dreykov, close talker.
Taskmaster's cool. Like especially again in the
He's
comics,
also
like
British.
the copycat. Yeah, a little weird. The copycat nature of like his sort of skill set makes fighting him a giant pain in the ass. And again, he's more akin to like he's not going to fight the Hulk because he'd get his ass beat.
Yeah.
But if like fighting Spider-Man or like someone like that again, like the Captain America, or
being
whatever's a
able
little
to
more-
adapt to your that's always a cool.
yeah, a little
a
like
cool thing, bro, like-
chameleon,
like
shit.
Aaron slaps me in the face next time we fight. I slap him in
Taskmaster
the
alone
face.
was an Easter egg with the
Master or
Black
Masker?
Panther.
Yeah, I was to say he had his own like he had the little he had the Red Rocket's shield that he was throwing.
Arrows from Hawkeye.
Yeah, there was some shit that he was pulling out. That's how he got the timing right. As he saw Hawkeye time out an explosion, he's like Legolas jumps on his shield and hits like 3 guys.
It still only counts as
So
one.
I want a rolling list of our top 10 us lovers who hate.
Yeah, so I would put
Villains
Taskmaster in
villains
that
you
like
hate,
B
villains you
minus.
love to
Well, we
hate.
gotta rank them. So
Well, between the two of them, I would put Taskmaster at 1 and Dreykov at 2.
nope. Taskmaster / Dreykov versus
If there's nobody else.
Renslayer
And Mobius.
Slash and slash.
Renslayer / Kang. We'll call him
Can't do
Kang.
fucking-
We're gonna call him Kang.
Yeah, that's fine.
But Kang's not in it.
Number 1
Actually,
for
Kang's
me.
not going to be in it at all.
Kang / Renslayer.
Really?
well,
That's
between the two of them,
so
with the two choices, yeah. But again,
our rolling lovers who hate.
but
Kang's
again,
number
like,
one bad guy.
Renslayer to me doesn't like. I don't know if I consider Kang
What
like
about
the bad guy.
You don't want Kang to be part of it.
Well, I guess in the context of like the problems that were created in
The
Loki,
antagonist.
he's
Sure,
sort of the
sure.
antagonist. But is he a bad guy? I mean, I would say no.
But even if we're just looking at it as a bad guy,
He's not a
based
villain.
off
Like
of-
he brainwashed a bunch of children to become sleeper soldier agents. To like that's a bad guy. Like that is not a good person.
Sure.
Where he was just like he was again kind of going for the greater good with Natasha would have been hyped about that.
Hopper or Hopper from Bug's Life.
See Hopper from Bugs like that dude is a villain.
Yeah, he's a villain. He's trying to steal
Kevin
food.
Spacey
Yeah.
for Hopper from Bugs Life.
Kevin Spacey's a real life villain. So probably Kevin Spacey.
Did you get that off of brainwashing children? Because
Yeah.
geez.
Right, so our top 10 lovers who hate, we got number 1 Kang / Renslayer.
Well, this seems lame because
Number
I feel like
2
we've had
Dreykov /
Who's
Taskmaster.
number 3?
We don't have any yet.
Gonna be Drake Rubinowski.
Find out next week when we review.
Aristocats.
What are we doing next?
What
week?
are we doing next week?
I was thinking we do Space Jam 1, then Space Jam 2, and then we look at the Marvel thing they're doing, the What If.
That scares me.
What if Space Jam was?
Do you guys have any other sort of lists you want to rank? You know, you could have a definitely an appropriate ass list if you want. You could,
Ooh, I like that idea.
but then you have to give me the best ass in Loki.
Appropriate ass.
Can we do one Drunken West rating where, like, depending on how drunk I am during the show?
Only if you keep track of it.
How am I supposed to do that? I'm drunk.
Yeah, it's good.
Well,
I don't
then
know.
I guess that's a no.
I don't know if I'm saying if we want to antagonize Wes's like drinking. We're gonna be like, all right, you get drunker, we'll just have a higher rating.
Like
at the end.
one of my favorite podcasts has a rank those abs.
Whose abs do we see this
Rank
week?
that.
Did we
ass.
see any naked bodies in Loki or
No, Loki's very
the
chill.
only
Like
naked body we
WandaVision?
saw was David Arbor in Black Widow.
Yeah.
So he's the best abs.
Best tits, David Harbour.
There's always going to be an antagonist. So I like our lovers who hate. That's us. We're the lovers.
Or we could have like best
Reiterate that every
like
time.
sidekicks or some shit. Or,
Yeah.
and it's just Porky
best
Pig from
sidekick.
Space Jam.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, best point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Red Robin Lips Award. Best sidekick.
Best reveal. Like we could have best like
Ooh, the Ben
surprise.
Arnold's Award.
Oh, the Bernardo.
The Bernhardt.
The Bernardo will be good.
Best twist.
Best
Yeah.
twist. What the twist?
The M Night
All right, all
Shyamalan.
right. Bernardo's, Red Robin Lips.
M Night
Yeah.
Shyamalan's.
I think that's enough.
Oh, the crying monkey.
Unless you have one that
most
really
passionate
Crying Monkey,
kiss
Hidden
award.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Isn't that the movie?
Yeah. That's
Any of
okay.
you guys have a sign off? Nothing in Irish, maybe?
Look out for me legs. I don't remember what it was.
Well, you're going to have to come up with something.
Why?
As we always say to end the Cannonballs podcast, Wesley.
You better look out for me legs and me proper 12.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Fire.